More.
What?
More.
Okay, I'm going to be more specific, and I'm going to say more than. And I am going to put a star by it, because we're going to come back to that. All right, give me another one for addition. Some. Okay, this table, give me another one for addition.
Odd.
Add. Okay. Back table. Plus. What else? Total. All right, we got one from every table. Anybody else want to add one?
How about sum?
It's up there. See? SUM. Got it? All right, that's pretty good. All right, we'll start in the back this time. Give me one for subtraction. Okay, love it. Up here, do you guys have one? All right, you said that one earlier. I like it. Take away. Away. All right, this table.
Minus.
Minus. Okay.
Less than.
Ooh, that's a good one. Less than. And again, I am going to put a star next to it. We're going to come back to that. And there's a reason. Okay, so you should have 2 stars for the more than and the less than. That's important. Any more? All right, that's pretty good. All right, this time we'll start in the middle. Multiplication.
Times.
All right, good. Times.
Minus.
Love it. Any more? Multiply. And? You guys come with any more? Okay, then you guys are up first. Division.
Divide.
All right. How about we can go divided by? Okay. And how about you guys? I'll give you a hint. I already said it earlier. Love it. Quotient. All right. That's pretty good. Okay. All right. So here is why we have, okay, more than with a star and less than with a star. Okay. There is a reason for it. Okay. In most cases, you are going to write your algebraic expression in the order that it is presented. Okay? What do I mean by that? Okay, if we go ahead and look at A down here, it says the difference between 5 and x. Okay, so we're going to write it in the order that it is presented. So 5 will go first. What represents difference? Subtraction. And then we're going to write x. Okay? The 2 stars, the more than and the less than, are the only 2 times in which you switch the order of the number and the letter based upon the way they are presented. So, in this case, it says 5 less than x. We're actually going to write x first, then minus 5. Okay? Now, maybe that doesn't make any sense to you, so let's do an example. Okay? All right. I have $10. Okay? You have $2 less than me. You have $2 less than me, and I have 10. How much do you have? You have 2 less than me.
8.
You have 8. Negative 8. 2 less than me, and I have 10. 8? 8? Negative 8. All right, so we've got 3 tables that say 8 and 2 tables that say negative 8. So if I have $10 and I have 2 less, or you have 2 less, do I do 10 minus 2 and get $8? Or do I do 2 minus 10 and get negative 8? So if you have 2 less than 10, do I write the 2 first and then the 10? How many people are carrying around a negative amount of money right now? Do you have negative money? Do you have negative $8?
I have debt.
You have negative $8?
I have debt.
You have what?
I have debt.
A debt. Okay, you have a debt, okay, which would be negative, all right. But are you carrying around like
No.
negative $8 in your pocket? No, okay. So the reason it's 8 is because if you have $2 less than me, you have 10 minus 2. So notice that we switched the order, okay? So that's very, very important. So if I do the same thing with more than, okay? All right? I have $10. You have 2 more than me. How much do you have? You got 12. 10 plus 2. Okay? But if I say that you have 2 more than 10, you're going to do 10 plus 2. You're going to switch the order. Okay? That's very, very, very important. Okay? Questions with that? All right. So if I look at C then, based upon what I just talked about, you got 5 seconds. See if you can write down an answer for C. Write down an answer for C. Think about what more than means. Write down an answer for C. All right, so walking around, I see some people wrote option A, 3 more than means plus, and then Y. B,
Y plus 3.
Y plus 3. Is it A or is it B?
B.
It's both.
It's both. Okay, so technically, we should get used to using B, and the reason why we should do that is so that we don't make the mistake when it's less than, okay? Notice, up here, if I do less than, but I put it in a different order, I get 2 different answers, 8 and negative 8. But if I made this into numbers, and I said 5 plus 3 and 3 plus 5, do I get a different answer? No, I get the same answer, I get 8. So when it's addition, it doesn't really matter. But I'm just trying to emphasize it so that you get in the habit, so that way when you see the less than, you do the same thing. So less than and more than, get in the habit of switching it around, okay? But technically both are correct for more than, all right? All right, D. This is important because notice it is saying 2 things before the second number or the variable. It is saying 3 times the sum. So it's saying 3 times the sum, times and sum. You got 2 operations going on, okay? The number Y and 7, okay? Anybody want to give it a try before I explain? You want to try it?
3 times y plus 7.
And so I just write 3, and then,
Times
and how should I
y
write
plus
times?
7 in parentheses.
Ooh, like this?
Yeah.
And then Y plus 7?
Yeah.
All right, she is absolutely correct. Good job, Roxana. Okay? All right, so here's what you have to understand. It's saying 3 times the sum, which it's telling you that you have to find the sum first. How, based upon what we learned yesterday, do I make sure I find the sum first? Anton.
Using the parentheses.
Good, put the phone away.
It's on the phone.
Oh, got it, okay. All right, so using parentheses, I make sure that I do the sum first, then I do the times, okay? So you gotta be careful with that, all right? All right, E, 22, notice that it's back to using that phrase less than the square of a number M. All right, think order of operations, okay? Would you subtract first or square first? Square first, okay? So think about that. See if you can come up with a sentence on your own, and then we'll double check, okay? Let's give everybody a chance to try it first. See if you can come up with a way of showing 22 less than the square of M. m squared minus 22. I like how you put the 22 second because of the less than, and then m squared means to the second power. All right, so same thing. Try f, and then we'll see how you do. Okay? Now, big word shows up on this one. What does quantity mean? It's not up in our box up at the top. What does quantity mean? All right, quantity means use parentheses. Okay, so you need to understand quantity means parentheses. Okay, so try F. Wait, so I just want to double check and you tell me which one is correct or if they're both correct. So if we're going to do the quotient, okay, that means we're going to divide. Quantity means put in parentheses 10 plus a number x. So some people did 10 plus x, close the parentheses, divided by, they put the divided by symbol, and then they did 2, okay? And then some people did 10 plus x, and then they put it over 2. Which one's correct? Both. Yeah, so remember, a fraction means division, so both of them are correct. So big thing that is not up at the top that you need to understand is when they say quantity, that means they want you to do that first, so you got to put it in parentheses, okay? The other thing you got to pay attention to is on D, when they use 2 words, sometimes they want you to do one thing first, so you got to use parentheses, okay? All right, flip over to page 2. All right, rate, okay? And the thing here, when we talk about rate, we're going to compare this to a unit rate, all right? So rate is going to deal with the idea of, making a comparison, okay? So whenever we're talking about a rate, think about like miles per hour, like 55 miles per hour. Does anybody work? Anybody have a job in here?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, Victor? Do you get like an hourly rate?
No, I get paid for a day.
You get paid for a day. Do you get paid the same amount per day?
Yeah.
All right, what would be your rate?
What do you mean by that?
So how much do you get paid per day?
So like 100 bucks.
Every day? Like, so it doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday versus a Wednesday, it doesn't matter. You get, all right, so you get the same amount each time. Okay, so that is what we're going to refer to as your unit rate. How much you get paid per 1 day. How much you drive per 1 hour, okay? When we say per one thing, that's going to be referred to as our unit rate, okay? All right? Does that make sense? So it's basically dealing with this idea of comparison, okay? We are going to write it using a ratio. All right. I'm a big Cubs fan. Anybody a big Cubs fan? Cubs? Love the Cubs, right? Okay. So if I were to use an example like this, what if I said that the Cubs scored 8 runs in 9 innings? That'd be a good day for them. Because the last series, what'd they average? 4 runs for 4 games or something like that? Okay? All right, so 8 runs in 9 innings. Okay? So if I were to write this as a ratio, okay, I need one of the numbers to be in the numerator, one of the numbers to be in the denominator. So should I write 8 runs over 9 innings, or should I write 9 innings over 8 runs? And just so you know, when we look ahead, I'm going to ask, how much did they score per 1 inning? So what do you guys think? Should it be 8 over 9 or 9 over 8? 8 over 9? 8 over 9? 8 over 9? Come on, what do you think? Either one of you. All right, they are both correct.
8 over 9.
We're going to go 8 over 9, so we're going to go runs over innings, okay? And when we talk about unit rate, we always want the denominator to equal 1. Okay? Or, putting it in a different way, okay, you want to actually divide, and in this case, you can use a decimal. Okay? All right, what do I mean by this? Do you talk like which of the following? I drive 150 miles per 3 hours. Is that the way you talk? Or do you say I drive 50 miles per hour? Do you say 150 miles per 3 hours, or do you say 50 miles per hour? Per hour, okay? And notice that what the denominator would be a 1. You would say 50 miles per 1 hour. So when we talk about our unit rate, our denominator is a 1. But sometimes we can't divide it evenly, like in our case. Does 9 go into 8 evenly? No. Okay, so I need somebody with a calculator. Anton has one out because he's been playing with it for a while. Anton, what's 8 divided by 9?
23.
Try again. What? 0.8 repeating. So in our case, as a unit rate, this would be 0.8 runs, okay, runs per inning. Okay? So you're going to write it either way. 50 miles per hour, you can use a fraction. If it doesn't go evenly, then think about changing it to a decimal. Okay? All right. So here is our rate. Our rate right now is a car travels 110 miles in 2 hours. I want you to change that into a unit rate. So the big thing that you have to decide is, should you do 110 divided by 2, or should you do 2 divided by 110? So do you say that you drive 2 hours per 110 miles, or do you say you drive 110 miles per 2 hours? The one that is after the word per is the denominator. So which one are we going to do? Roxanne. So we're going to do 110 miles over 2 hours. And now our goal is to change that into a unit rate. So I want the denominator to become a 1. I want you to simply divide.
55 over 1.
55 over 1. So therefore, we can change this to 55 miles per hour. Okay, 55 miles per hour. Okay, that's our unit rate. Okay, we're simplifying our fraction. All right, see if you can do B with the people in your table. Okay, and then why did we all do it wrong? The reason why we all did it wrong is because you've been looking at all of these sentences, and the first number you're automatically putting in the numerator, and the second number you're automatically putting it in the denominator. But let me ask you this, okay? I know if I were to go downstairs for lunch, would I say I am going to buy 65 cents worth of chips, or a bag of chips costs 65 cents?
65 cents. And which?
You would say, you know, each bag of chips costs 65 cents. Okay, so we're actually going to take the amount, the $3.75, and we're going to divide that by 15. Okay, so we're going to take our cost and we're going to divide by our minutes. Now, somebody type in 3.75 divided by 15. Tell me what you get. How much?
25 cents
25 cents.
per minute.
So does it make sense to say that it costs 25 cents per minute? Does that make more sense? Okay, rather than minute per dollar or minute per cents, okay? So sometimes you have to think about which direction it should be. All right, so C. A 15-ounce box of cereal costs $3. So the first question is, should the $3 be in the numerator or the denominator? Should the 15 be in the numerator or the denominator? Yep.
15 to the denominator and the.
Aaron, focus. So, Aaron, Roxana said $3 should be in the numerator and then 15 should be in the denominator. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? Alex, do you agree with it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, then divide. Tell me what you get.
You get point 20.
What'd you get?
Point 20.
0.20?
So 20 cents per ounce.
Yeah.
So 20 cents per ounce. Okay? All right, questions?